What up, world? It's your boy Chuck Wick Ills. We back. Charles Brown, CLBMG. How y'all doing? You chilling? Good. I got another album review for you. Some real hip-hop shit this time. But I always do real hip-hop shit for the most part. I don't know if you heard this, but Fabolous and Jadakiss got a new album. It's called Friday On Elm Street. Just like you, I was interested. I was waiting for this album. These are two great artists. I've been listening to mad stuff for them for years. They are not new to this business, but they feel new. It feels fresh. It feels like if two dudes could remain relevant, you got to process this from the 90s, and you can still announce something on Instagram in 2017, and people go nuts and have anticipation for it. That's saying a lot. You gotta think about how many dudes came out when Fab dropped. You know what I'm saying? Like, Fab first dropped, how many dudes was trying to go line for line with Fab, toe to toe with Fab? And Fab's still relevant, and mad dudes is not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we gotta just take a moment to process that a dude of Fab's age, I think Fab might be pushing 40, something like that. Salute that man. And we ain't even gonna talk about Jadakiss. For Jada to still be able to use these social medias and these collaborations to such a great advantage to become extremely relevant still in the game to this day. D-Block was signed by Diddy back when Big was still alive. What was they, Warlocks or something like that? The Warlocks or something crazy like that? When Diddy was still trying to make Biggie pop. This is Jada. Jadakiss is back from that cloth, that lineage, or lineage, whatever you want to say. This is a whole different animal. This dude has seen stuff none of us ain't gonna never see. You know what I'm saying? This dude rapped with Biggie. He rapped with Biggie, bro. Process that. How many dudes rapped with Biggie that's still relevant right now? You could count them on one hand. You still got to move a couple fingers because it's not often. So first and foremost, we got to salute that. We got to salute that. Now, when I was doing my thing, I mean, I still do it time to time, promoters, these are the only two artists really that escaped me that I didn't really get to bring. I didn't really get to work with. I worked with Styles P. I worked with the other dude from D-Block. My memory's, excuse me, you gotta forgive me. I worked with D-Block before, but I never worked with Jada solo. I never worked with Fab. And who knows what's gonna happen down the line. That's on my bucket list. I got a couple people on my bucket list. They on my bucket list, along with Nas, Common, De La Soul, Jay-Z. A couple people on my bucket list. We see what happens. But Friday on Elm Street, a collaboration between two of the illest MCs in the game. I remember when Fab was just coming out on some, he seemed mad New Yorkish. Very Air Force Ones, very the Butter Leathers, just very New York. He seemed like it was another 1-2 records and done type of cat. Like on some Mike Geronimo or some, who can I think of that's just one and done? The cat that did, it's a couple cats out of New York that just, you know what I'm saying, they was hot for a minute, but they was just one and done. I thought Fab was in that lane. I thought Fab was going to be, he got a hot joint here, hot joint there, then that's it. Deal is dropped. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I can name a couple people, but I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, just disrespectful to anybody. So, but you do your research. And you'll know, if you from that area, you know that there was a slew of New York cats. A slew of them trying to imitate this guy, that guy, and we ain't hear from him after 2 years. And it happens in every region. It happened in Atlanta. You got a slew, Baby Huey, all these guys, a slew of guys dropped out of nowhere, and then, you know, they had a popping record, and then it's back to, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever you was doing before. And I literally thought Fab was that one and done. He was too New York. It was too cliche. It was, you know what I'm saying, the same. You had the Gucci link or the herringbone chain, and you know what I'm saying. You had the temp fade, and you know the Scully, the Temps. It was just too New York, and that don't play too well. After a while, you got to do something else. But Fab transcended all that. Fab, something about Fab. He knew how to make hits. His hits got bigger. They didn't go down, they went up. I'm So Into You and all that stuff. And we saw this guy mature. We saw this guy turn into a pure star. He learned that it's not just, I gotta wear, you know, what's popping in New York. I gotta wear what's popping internationally. He started to make bigger music. Yeah, you can tell it was New York, but he started to get bigger tracks. Lil Mo and all this stuff. He started to get bigger songs. And he started to become relevant to cats that didn't just want to hear New York rap. Because we wanted to hear New York rap, but it's only but so much of that you can listen to. And just like, to me, he was in the same vein as the Big L to me. Big L get mad love, but I often wonder if Big L get that love because he's not here no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, would Big L have transcended all of that super New York type of style he had? You know what I'm saying? Like Jay transcended that early. Jay was very New York, but you had to be New York to get on in New York. But Jay transcended that after a while. Biggie transcended that almost immediately, where he got his love in New York, but it was everywhere. Immediate. You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang was very New York, but it was everywhere that Wu-Tang could play at. Cream didn't kill you like this was a super New York song. Cream was a dope song. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, would Big L have been able to transcend that whole super Harlem thing that he had going on? It's a lot of cats that couldn't do it. And Fab somehow learned to do it. And that's why we're talking about Fabolous today. Jada, on the other hand, Jada had a real strong team. Not just talking about D Block. I'm talking about the entire machine. He's on Bad Boy. The entire machine was, they were able to market you outside of your region. And you know, for what it was worth, like, D Block had certain obligations, so they had to make certain kind of songs. It wasn't D Block, it was the Locks. And which was, everybody knows that the story supposedly goes that they were called the Warlocks when they first got introduced to Diddy, Puffy at the time, and he made them change their name to, I'm gonna say he made them, but he suggested they change their name to the Locks. And that's how you got the Locks to this day. So from day one, they was groomed to be bigger than New York. So they always been in a position of a bigger playing field. So then you take that, you got the Locks, you got Fab, but they always been on the same trajectory. It's always been, we're going up. This is a steady movement up. You never felt like the Locks or Fab, I'm not gonna say they never fell off. They never fell off. Both camps had downtime. Both of them. And they both had, all right, let's get back to, you know, what we used to do, blah, blah, blah. But you're talking 20 years of this. You're not going to be on fire for 20 years. So both of them had their moment, their cooling off periods. The game starts to change and move away from what you're doing. Let's be honest, they both have a niche. They both have a niche sound, a niche market, a niche fan, and they'll make their hits outside of their comfort zone. Like Fab will come with the I'm so into you and all that. But Fab fan base, his real core fan base, is a hardcore market. It's a hardcore fan who want to hear hardcore lyrics. As same as Jada. Jada's stuff is hard, for lack of a better word. It's not violent. It got to be a better word for it. You know what I'm saying? It's gangster. Both of them do more gangster, New York gangster though. You know what I'm saying? Not just gangster for gangster's sake. It's New York gangster. It's more of a cool gangster type of shit. Not just we gangbanging, slanging, wearing khakis, and throwing up W's. It's not that kind of gangbanging. It's gangster, where it's more about money than necessarily throwing up a set, wearing a color, all that, blah, blah. So that's a niche market. That's for certain kind of guys, certain kind of people that want to hear that all the time. Now, what you're going to do with that is you're going to throw in If You Think I'm Jiggy. You're going to throw in a joint with Mariah, and you're going to throw in these different tracks to expand your brand, but you're never going to abandon your brand, which they never did. Yeah, they have questionable moments where you're like, huh, why did you make that? But that's what you do. 20 years of music, you can't do the same track all the time. That's why a lot of guys fell off. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of guys that didn't get that. And we as fans, we didn't get that. That you have to do that girl joint, for lack of a better word. You have to do that club banger. You have to. It's just, to be in this business for more than 2 years, you're going to have to switch it up. Just like these guys doing all this predominantly trap music. If that is all you do, you're not going to make it. The biggest stars in the world do not do one sound. Future, believe it or not, does not do one sound. Even though it's a lot of it, Future switches it up. He does a variety of different sounds to get him where he needs to be. He reaches his female fan base. He reaches his male fan base. He reaches his trap fan base. He reaches his white fan base. He reaches his international. He does it all. The people that want to hear smooth stuff, he got something for you. Now, you take another guy like a Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher, I don't know how many times he stepped outside of his comfort zone. That's why you don't hear about Bone Crusher no more. Bone Crusher had one of the biggest songs in the world. I'm outside of the club and they think I'm a punk. All that. Bone Crusher had one of the biggest songs in the world. But if you stay in that lane, if you're known for just I'm just Bone Crusher, it's headbanger music, you're not gonna. That's gonna play but so long, because even the headbanger cats got another guy stepping up with that same music. They don't want to hear you past 2-3 years of that. So you have to branch out your market. And that's what Fab and Jada consistently have done. Jada has done it solo. He's done it with D Block, the Locks. He's done a lot. I remember when Jada was in the middle of that Let the Locks Go movement with Puffy and all of that nonsense with, Puffy still had him in the contract and they wanted out, blah, blah, blah. And Puffy go up to the radio, be like, the Locks can get out anytime they want. I mean, we know that ain't necessarily true, but let him tell it. The Locks was never being held anyway, and all that. Just a lot of madness that we watched over the years. That Jadakiss, D Block, Fabolous, all these people have to overcome these things. So I said to say this: these are two masterclass MCs. So the album should be masterclass. We shouldn't expect nothing less. We shouldn't expect garbage on here. We shouldn't expect trash. And I haven't been this excited about a release of either one of these guys as I am with this one. You got the soul tapes and you got this and that, and Jada drops a lot of freestyles and Fab drops a lot of relevant stuff. These guys are dope on their own. Locks just dropped something a couple weeks ago, something quietly dropped a 4-song album. I believe, well, it ain't an album, it's 4 songs. Had 4 tracks on it. It was all right, wasn't nothing wrong with it. And I don't think people even really knew it was out like that. It wasn't nothing but like a month or 2 ago. 2 months ago, maybe? And then the Locks had something else where they dropped, you know, D-Block had something else they dropped around the time where it was like a lot of police shootings and things like that. I can't remember the name of that off the hand, but they dropped that. So it's been constant movement. But nothing, I don't think anything that either one of these guys, soul tapes, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That stuff always garners attention, Fab. But I don't think the buzz of anything these two have brought reached the buzz of when they said Freddy versus Jason. I don't think nothing captured that buzz from either one of them when they hit that. It was February last year, 2016, that I believe Fabolous posted a pic of or something saying coming soon, Freddy vs. Jason. This was over a year and a half, and people been on them, both of them, saying, "Yo, where's this album?" Blah blah blah, and Fab saying it's Jada, and Jada's like, "Whatever, you know, it's coming, it's coming." So we've been waiting for this. The buzz on this been crazy. I didn't know, you know, what to expect because it seemed like a whole album of these two with them going back and forth could be dope or it could be monotonous of the same just nonsense of no structure, no, just bunch of free verses that they wrote for other shit and they just threw it on here. And I didn't know what to expect because when you get a lot of collabs, like I think the Drake and Future collab fell short to a lot of people. I think when you just mailing it in and y'all not really connecting like that, you just doing it for the quick look, the quick buzz, and you just doing a bunch of songs, just picking them, throwing them out. I don't think that always works. So this could have went either way. And I feel like they did their thing on this. I like, don't get me wrong, I love hard rhymes. I love rhymes that just nonsense. They just, every other line, they telling you another clever way to kill you. I like that. I like dope shit like that. I like where it's a play on movies like this. What they're doing is they're taking from the Jason and Freddy horror flicks and they're putting that into wordplay because we all love that. We already love Jason and Freddy movies. Shit, got like 30 of them shits already. Got a video game, got soundtracks, got all kind of books and magazines dedicated to them. So it's like we already love this. We already love this. Then you taking it and put it into rap form, and not two corny rappers. You take it and put it in the rap form of some real dudes. This has got to be dope. And these dudes did not disappoint. They did not disappoint. I have to say that, like I said, it could have went either way. It could have been just a rack of, you know, why we listen to this. By the second, third song, you could have been like, all right, enough. This did not disappoint. So I want to talk about this. We're going to get into the album. Two veterans, like I said. This album was released on Def Jam already. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Def Jam is taking hits lately. But at the end of the day, Def Jam is still Def Jam. This is the legacy. And any real MC going to tell you their dream was to rock on Def Jam. So no matter what the feeling is right now, Def Jam is Def Jam. So they released it on an iconic label. And we're going to talk about this album. So, Friday on Elm Street, Fabolous with Jadakiss. Let's get right into it. I want to say that the first song, F verse J intro. I believe the album title was changed because of legal purposes. I think this album was supposed to be called Freddie vs. Jason. And someone came in like, honey, nah, you're not doing that. No one has said that. But I think Freddie vs. Jason, not going to happen. So I think this intro is called F vs. J intro because they cannot use Freddie vs. Jason. I could be wrong, but that's my personal opinion. So F vs. J intro, hard as hell, hard as fuck. This is what you expect. Nothing less than this. This is what you expect. When they said they was putting this album out, you expected this. This shit is hard, bro. Hard. I don't know what the internet's talking about. That Jadakiss outshined or he bodied Fab. No. You are mistaken, sir. These dudes equal. I have not seen an album this equal where you can listen to one and listen to the other. You're not skipping one. You're not skipping the other. They are equal. Equal level of MCing on here. Both of them, line for line. This is real shit. Hard shit. I don't give a fuck what you say. Fab got paid. And Jada got paid. This is how this album supposed to start. It's only 11 tracks. Actually, you got a 12 track, but that's a remix of Stand Up. So it's 11 tracks. So you need every one of these shits to bang. So F verse J intro, hardest shit I've heard all year. One of the hardest joints. This has been a hard ass year. Hard ass year if you're really paying attention. So we will start there. The verses line for line even. Let's go to the next song. Stand Up featuring Future. Now, you ain't gonna like every song on every album. This album is top notch, but this song right here is not for me. This ain't something I'm gonna bump. I know why they made it. You have a new generation. You have a level of relevancy you have to adhere to, and you gotta have that sonic sound that sounds right now. They can get their radio play with this. You bring in Future, boom. You are automatically, now you're playing the game. You're going to get the people that wouldn't have listened to the album to listen to it. I get it. It is for what it is. It's just not for me. This ain't a song for me. There's nothing wrong with the production. It's just not a song for me. It's a good song, but it ain't for me. Next song. It does not bring the value of the album down because all I got to do is just hit the skip button. It is what it is. This album is still top notch. Top notch. Third song, theme music. Now we back to me. This is me right here. And I had to listen to it 2 or 3 songs, because there's 2 or 3 times. Because I was like, oh, there's no beat. Like, it's really not no, you know what I'm saying? I don't think there's no real beat under it. They just sampled the Marvin Gaye and let it run and sound like, and it's dope. Swizz Beatz got paid on it. I had to listen to it 2 or 3 times to really feel it like it's supposed to be. Turn it up, bam. This joint is knocking. The rhymes is on point. I like Swizz on here. This shit's doping. So 2 out of 3 to me is rocking. You know what I'm saying? They again, they lining up. They flows are on point, on par with each other. There is no there's no unbalanced, you know, one is outshining the other. I don't see that. Next song. Soul Food. The number 3 was theme music. Number 4 is Soul Food. Mad chill. It's got that late 90s feel to me. A lot of this album is late 90s. A lot of it. It feels to me. Which, what you expect. I don't think they went for that. I just think that's what it is. I think the best music is going to sound late 90s. The best hip-hop music is going to sound late 90s. Early 2000s. Anywhere before 2010. That sound is to make a dope album. You're going to have to dig into that sound, and Swizz Beatz is one of the procurers of that sound. He's one of the originators of that sound. So you're going to grab a Swizz Beatz for something like this. So Soul Food is dope, and you know, it is what it is. So we got, that's 4 joints in, it's a dope album. Next song, Principles. That's another one. That's a mad chill, got that 90s feel to it. Not as much 90s as the other one, but it does feel mad 90s. It's never about the money. Remember that? It's never about the money. It may sound like a dumb phrase. Wait, it's always about the money. Nah, bro. Dudes won't kill you for the money. It's the principle of what you did when you owed them that money. How you carried it. They're not going to smoke you for the money. They smoking you of how you carried it with what you did with that money. You know what I'm saying? So this is a real song. This is a real song featuring, you know, that's not featuring nobody. Principles is a thought-provoking song. This little stretch right here is where grown man shit took over. They started grown man shit, where they too old to be 11 tracks of shooting you in your face and rocking you with your nose bone. It's too much. You can't do that. You only got 11 tracks. And we're in a very, very serious time. You cannot come with a bunch of nonsense, especially when both y'all pushing 40. So right here, that stretch, Soul Food, Principles, Talk About It, featuring Tiana Taylor, which is the next song. Conscious shit, thought-provoking. We're talking about real stuff that real grown-ups go through. Real nigga shit, for lack of a better word. And it's real person, real human. Because this ain't just relegated to being black or white. This is real shit right here. So that's where we at with it. And I respect that. This album would not be a great album if they didn't have some consciousness on it. It would be a fraud. This is not the 90s where you could get away with just talking reckless for an entire album. And that's what people are good with. I think Cannabis got unfairly judged because a lot of his first album, it wasn't unfairly judged. The album was garbage. But he did a lot of talking about topics that no one expected him to talk about. They wanted him to battle for 12, 14 tracks straight. And that's all they wanted from Cam. And if he would have did that, they would have loved it. But he didn't. He talked about topics. And that's what made some people turned off to him. But to be a real MC, you got to talk about some topics. That's what they're doing on this. They're talking about topics. I respect that. So, with that being said, the next song, All About It, featuring French Montana, trap. Straight trap. We're not preaching to you. We did our grown man stuff. We kept you in tune with what it is out here. But then we going back to the trap, which they have to. This album has to bang everywhere. So they threw Frenchie on there. They got a trap beat. Shit bang. I'm going to give, this is all right. There's nothing wrong with this. I don't hate trap music. I don't hate trap music. This is a good song. And believe it or not, I like a lot of French Montana's when he is the feature. I think French get paid when he's the feature. Not so much his own stuff. I think when you bring him in, you're getting his best. I don't know why. He's better on your shit than his own shit. I don't know why. French shined on this. The song is good. This is some hood beat. It's keeping them relevant. I like it. It is what it is. Number 9, next song, I Pray, featuring Swizz Beats again. It's nice and mellow. And when this dude switches this beat, which is another thing right now with production, if you're not switching, if you're paying attention to the best albums, if you're not switching these beats up at some point in the middle of it, throwing curveballs, you're missing out. You're kind of behind the curve. You're behind the times right now. It's not about just one beat flowing through 3 minutes, 40 seconds. They switching these beats up, switching these hooks up, and they making it dope. And Swizz is one of the leaders of that. He's one of the people really keeping that funky. So I really dig this. This is another track. It's hard as shit. They right back on their Grizzly. It's no, you know what I'm saying? No time. We're not whimpering. We're not dumbing it down. We're not softening it up. No, keeping this shit hard. And that's what I like. Get on your grown man shit, then come back to your hard shit. This is what we listen to these two particular artists for. Next song, Ice Pick, featuring Styles P. Yeah, another joint is hard. Fab not on here if I'm not mistaken. It's just Jada and Styles. I think they took this from something else. I think this was already made, and they needed to fill this. This is my honest. This is just me. I think they needed to fill this space. They already had a track, and I think that's what happened right here. They pulled this from another something else and just stuck it there. But it doesn't kill the album. It's dope. Next song, Nightmares Ain't As Bad. Slow beat. Fab is on it. He's doing his thing. Retrospective, bassy, 808, heavy. I like it. I like this album. Like I said, the only song on here that I will probably skip on a regular is Stand Up. So we're not even going to talk about the remix because it's the same thing, just with Yo Gotti and Jeezy on it. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do. Probably mad dudes like it. That's just probably the one song on it that I don't like. This whole album, I rocks with it. I'm going to give this album A+++. This is a dope-ass album. A dope-ass album. Two vets showing you how to do it. They're not mumbling. You can understand what they're saying. They spitting very clear. They from the era where they used to have people teaching rappers how to enunciate. Believe it or not, they used to have people come in and make you enunciate your words better. You would learn. In the 90s, believe me, they were teaching you how to speak clearly. You could tell the difference. Because when rappers first was rapping, when they was getting nice and intricate, you couldn't always understand what they were saying. And then you could see a push to make that clarity to make it a priority. And they're from that era where the words being heard clearly was being very, very emphasized. And you can see they still do that to this day. Friday on Elm Street, dope album. Two vets in the game. They did their thing. I am very proud of this project. I recommend you go listen to it if you haven't heard it. Salute to Fab. Salute to Jadakiss. Salute to D Block. Salute to Swizz Beat. Salute to the producers on here. This is quality. My name is Chuck Wick Ills, a.k.a. Charles Brown, CLBMG. Subscribe to Audio Liquor Magazine. Like the video. Don't like the video. Do what you want to do. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.